Good evening, friends, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. We are happy to connect with you. As you know, every single day, there are several unsung heroes, and there are several guests who join us to share their journey, to celebrate their life. Not only celebrate their journey here and their life, they also would like to inspire you in the right way, to guide you in the right way. There are several people who have a lot of wisdom. They have gained through a lot of experience. They would love to share it with us. And when they take out time for you and me, to share all of it that they've gained through all of these years. We should really respect them and thank them and listen to them attentively. Friends, join me today to welcome our celebrity and guest. She's Padmakshi ma'am. She's joining us all the way from Bengaluru. We'll get to know more about her as to what she does and how she's influencing the lives of several people across the globe. Join us. We're going to have a wonderful time with her. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the
Hello,
session.
ma'am. Namaste. Namaste to everybody watching this. It's lovely to be on your show. Thank you so much for giving me such an opportunity.
Namaskara, ma'am. Thank you very much for being very humble. Thank you so much. Yes. My dear friends, there are several people who have a lot of ego, but there are people like our celebrity and guest who is very calm, polite, humble, and egoless. This is what we want, and this will enable you to grow when you are egoless. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So much.
With your permission, I go ahead and share your profile and we start the session there.
Sure.
My dear friends, how many of you are focused on mental health, which is the need of the hour? Many of us neglect it, especially within the family. We tend to hide it from others. We tend to hide it from our relatives, our neighbors. And of course, we do not give this required attention to the person who requires, the appropriate guidance with regard to mental health. So today we'll be focusing much on mental health. Now I'd like to share the profile of our celebrity and guest. Join me, friends. As I earlier mentioned, she is Dr. Padmakshi. She is Dr. Padmakshi Lokesh, and she is a wonderful doctor, a clinical psychologist, an educationist, and stress management specialist, and a personality development trainer with 15 plus years of experience. And you know what's the motto of her life? The motto of her life is nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't take a step forward, you will never, never, ever get anything in your hand. You'll never be able to achieve anything. No matter how dangerous and risky it is, go ahead. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. I really like this. It's wonderful. Ma'am has work experience with regard to being a CEO in several companies. For example, CEO of Smiles in Miles, CEO of Sim Events, CEO of SmartU, Director of Sneha, Mano, Vikasa, Kendra, Secretary Sejal New Life Foundation, Secretary Besant Convent Trust, Additional Secretary of Global HRD Bangalore Chapter, Board Member, Women's India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Health and Fitness Council, Karnataka Chapter, External Committee Member, Anti-Sexual Harassment Cell, RR Institute of Technology and Vivekananda Institute of Technology, and as well subject matter specialist on many TV channels and radio programs. And ma'am has received several awards and recognitions for the work that she has done so far. The first one to mention here is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award from the Government of India, Ministry of HRD. Nada Prabhu Kempegowda Award 2018 by the Government of Karnataka. The Sun Pure Superwoman Award by Sun Pure India, South Indian Women Achievers Award, one of the top 100 inspirational educators of India, recognition in 2021, Iconic Women Changing Lives 2020 by Women Economic Forum, Women of Substance Award recognition from Harvard University in association with MT University, Outstanding Women Leader of Karnataka, a national award, and Future Women Leader Award, that's again another national award, Vaidya Ratna by Karnataka Samskrita Academy, Women of Excellence Award, Young Women Achievers Award, Veera Vanita Obova awardee, that's really nice, and if I can get that right, Chuncha Shri Mahila Prashasti. If I've mispronounced anything, kindly forgive me, friends. And ma'am has wonderful future plans for all of us. She loves to extend her operations globally. She's doing it for Karnataka, for India. She's also connected globally and would like to inspire every single individual on this planet. And she would love to provide mental health services to the most needy sections. Those who cannot afford it, she would like to reach out to them. She'd love to promote talent in various fields. That's really so kind of her. She has a wonderful vision. A person with vision to give back to the society. She has this vision that I don't keep everything within myself. I should be more of a giver. And so here is a wonderful giver, a divine person to me, and a magical person, and of course, a great inspiration. We love people like this. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be with you. That's to do something like this and motivating the others. So wonderful. More power to you, and also wonderful wishes to all the people who are watching us.
Thank you so much, dear. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing that. Ma'am, I've shared a brief profile of yours. Now you're connected to mental health. Now, how did you begin this journey? Why did you choose mental health as the main path in your life?
First of all, I married a psychiatrist.
Wow.
When there were a lot of questions I used to ask him, and then I myself as an individual had a lot of anxiety. What will I be able to do this and such things? So that's when my husband advised, why don't you study the whole process of psychology? Maybe you'll understand what's happening to you by yourself. That's when I started studying, I understood. Okay, yes, there's a lot of problems in the world. Once I started understanding things, then we actually started seeing problems around. So there were problems inside me, there were problems outside. So I thought, let me start dealing. So in the process of dealing with myself, that's when I started dealing with the others too. It all started way back in 2000 or on 2001.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much for realizing the importance of psychology in the lives of in our own lives. And then
Every individual, as we all know, everybody has everything, but they don't know how to use it, and they also don't know how to feel it. Even to feel I have this is something really a problematic thing. They are all like birds. We human beings are like kind of a birds who don't even realize our inner potential that we are capable of flying. That's when I just thought, okay, fine, let me just try to help myself, and probably the whole process help the others too. In the process of helping others, I realized a lot of things. There's a lot of potentiality which I have. Maybe it's a journey of from can I to a journey which is like I can. So this whole process, it's the journey still going on. Looking forward to connect with more and more people, because every person I meet, many people, they'll say, I want to smile like yours. I want to smile like you. No, I want to be very happy like you. I'll feel happy when they say that. But the fact that the amount of turmoil I have faced and really come out of it and trying to help them is, I don't say help them, maybe trying to guide or whatever, do whatever little I can. If I have to tell you, I've not done anything great, as you mentioned. I'm only trying to do very little of whatever I can, because even doing big things, it's not an easy thing. What I believe is, start doing small things, automatically it'll just become a bigger, bigger thing. So that's when the whole journey started. I was somebody who could not voice out my own words. Then all this happened, and now people call me firebrand speaker and everything possible, global motivator, that this and all. All these things way back then was not easy at all for me. So this whole process, maybe the understanding of myself made, maybe it's a way to understand others too, and understanding them will make myself. It's vice versa. So that was the whole way it started.
thank you so much, ma'am, for being very transparent and clear with what you've just shared. Thank you very much. That's really a great journey. You evolved very well and you're spreading it across the world. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, dear ma'am, there are several people who are still not ready to accept that they are suffering from any mental stress. They don't want the world to know. Of course, if it's a physical wound, we can easily show it. It's very visible. But then what we are undergoing personally. Now, let's talk about, before going to women, let's talk about the mental health of men. The men do not come out openly and share that this is what they are undergoing. They keep it all hidden. Sometimes it is silence, sometimes it is aggression. Yes, dear.
Men are taught मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता.
Ji.
No, you are supposed to keep it for yourself. Hey man, you're crying. That means you're very weak. This is the way the upbringing is. I'm not blaming a particular man. There are so many men who cry, who have cried in front of me. They tell, I don't even feel egoistic at all. I'm happy I could cry in front of you. I'm happy I could express my emotions in front of you. So they do that. But still date with so much of social media awareness, lot of doctors giving a lot of awareness programs happening, mental health illness, wellness, illness, emotional illness, awareness, all these things still happening. Despite of all these things, people still don't find it very easy to go out and speak about their mental health. It can be a man or a woman. equally affected. In fact, mental health issues, both of them are suffering equally. If you look at the percentage, maybe the women suffering is maybe 1%, a little higher. So equally, both of them are suffering. Children are suffering. People in the old age are suffering. It's not that only this particular type of people are suffering. People who are very well qualified, highly studied, sitting in very higher positions, people sitting in lower positions, people having lot of money, not having money. So if you see, mental health is kind of a pandemic now, and it is affecting every type of people across the globe. It's not that only India is affected. In the US also, the numbers are going every day very high. If you look at the suicide rates, it's just going high, high every day. So by the time we finish our interview, we don't even know they must have one or two, three people who must have committed suicide across the globe. We just don't even know. That's the kind of issue, mental health issue. Actually, even higher, whatever with the qualification, if a person feel helpless, that qualification doesn't help. It is from within they're feeling that it's actually happening in the brain. So people should understand it is real. They'll say, hey, there is nothing like mental health problem. There is nothing like that and all. Please don't avoid it. Whatever it is, come out openly and speak about it. There are professionals to help you. If you say, there are people who say, oh, I'm a very big person. I'm the CEO of my company. I can't afford to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist people because people will think I'm mad. I don't want this tagline of getting called I'm mad and stuff like that. So I don't want to see a doctor. You have to tell people just by going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist for therapies, you're not going to be called mad. Even if people call you that way, I don't think that should be mattering to us because the world is in such a way they're going to comment on any individual very easily. See, commenting on the others is very easy. Trolling another person is very easy. But trying to help another person in a problem is not very easy to people. But I tell them at least listen to them. Don't comment on them. Keep quiet. Let them live their lives. Most of the time, when people feel helpless, what if I tell the other person they're going to talk about it? Because of this issue, most of them don't talk about it. That's when they're in severe depression. And when depression is in phase stage 3, that's the third stage of depression, most of them will have suicidal ideas, and that's when they've committed suicide. And there are people who say, oh, wish man, he tried telling me something. Wish I could have listened to them. 3 days ago, he tried talking to me. 4 days ago, I met this person. So that's what I tell people. When somebody is trying to reach out to you, please give them your time. It's not that everybody wants money in turn. Nobody wants that at all. People have money. It's that people want somebody to speak to. They want somebody to, an individual wants to be wanted. I am wanted by somebody. That feel they wanted. So please give people time. That's very important. Give time to yourself, give time to your family, give time to your colleagues, give time to society also. So it's like when it comes to giving time, we have to do all this. So it's not that I'm treating the whole world and finally I enter depression and then I'll not be able to deal with it and something goes wrong with me. It is, and then the people will start telling that, oh, look at her, she's not really a good doctor, she could not help her own self and all that stuff. So it is, I tell everybody, give time to yourself. That's very important. Your family, because whatever it is, it's the family which will stand next behind you, besides you, around you in any given point of time, in any problematic times. And also friends are equally important. And when it comes to society, you have to help somebody because you feel as an individual happy. You'll feel satisfied when you have got smiles on somebody else's face. That is when you will feel you will sleep peacefully. So for you to feel sorry sleep peacefully, I tell people, come on, help the others. It is better to be selfish to sleep peacefully. For becoming selfish, you need to be selfless also. Help the other person. So selfishness happens. We all end of the day have. End of the day, people ask me, "You're so selfish." I said, "Fine, yes, I am. I'm an individual too. My selfishness lies in helping myself too to be happy. So my happiness lies on seeing smiles on the other person's face. So when somebody is going to be cribbing and I have wonderful food, and I'm not going to say, "Oh wow, I had great food. I'm happy." It doesn't happen that way. People around me also have to be happy. That's when I can enjoy my meal. So the motto for life, as I always said, you nothing ventured, nothing gained. Whoever is around, try to help them. It is not that you have to give them thousands of rupees and all that stuff. Sit, sit by themselves, talk to them. See, even the fact that we both are talking, it's giving me immense happiness. We might talk for another half an hour, 45 minutes. It's wow. It's like, yes, I spoke to somebody. This is going to be a memory which is going to be there for my entire life. That's going to give me happiness. So that's very important. Connect with people, connect with the right people. And when you're connected with toxic people, that is also something I have to tell you. Be away from toxic relationships. Toxic relationships is inside your house. It can be around you with anybody. When you realize you're only giving and you're not getting, and you're only getting negativity also, be away from such people. How to identify? Many people tell me how to identify. Example, you talk to a person, maybe let's take 15 minutes. After 15 minutes of the talk, you feel, why am I talking? Yeah, first I need to get away. And they'll be giving you only negativity. They'll be like, hey, look at you the way you are, look at your dress the way you are. You don't even know to do this, you don't know that. When somebody is only talking this way and trying to put you down and put themselves in a bigger level, like, oh, look at me, I did that, I could do this, I can convince anybody, I can talk to anybody, you are not worth it. When somebody is doing this to you for one or two times, maybe they're criticizing you, that's all okay. But if constantly this is happening, we call them toxic people. When they think no end of themselves, they think they are the ones who know everything. It's better, even if it's your own spouse, if it's your own parent, if it's your own child, try to avoid long conversations with them. They're toxic. You can't do anything. See, if it's your own if it's your own spouse, if it's your own parent, if your own child or your own spouse, you can't, or your own sibling, you can't change them. You cannot get new ones. But at least if you just have short conversations, small conversations, and leave it at those points, maybe you'll be happy. And then you get into conversations which gives you happiness. Somebody whom you talk to, they'll say, yeah, very good about you, who can motivate you. It's okay, whatever you did was fine. I'm not going to judge you. As we are all here, like we think we are been appointed in the post of a judge. No, why should we judge somebody? If somebody likes black, yes, they like black. If somebody likes white, yes, they like white. Why are we supposed to judge? If somebody likes black, we call them, oh, they are bad. If somebody likes white, just an example, I've not, it's got nothing to do with, compartmentalizing, saying good or bad and all, nothing like that. It's, they are judged. Oh, you did this, that means you're good. Oh, you did that, that means you're bad. We are no one to judge it. See, in their situations of life, they would have done things depending on whatever it is. So we have to only help them to come out of negative situations, come out of negative relationships, come out of negativity instead of just telling, oh, you did this. They already know they've done it. We're not here to crucify them saying, oh, you did this, oh, you did this, oh, this is wrong, you were wrong. No, let's stop judging. Let's start helping. And when you start helping the other person, that is not toxicity, that is positivity. Yeah? So be in such positive relationships, talk to such positive people, and be happy. There are people who do show off of being good. It's okay. It's still okay to be with them because see, they're trying to you. There are sweet talkers and all that stuff. That still gives you happiness. That doesn't give you negativity. Be with them, no problem.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and views on that, dear. You elaborately explained that for us. Thank you so much. Ma'am, one very important question, ma'am. Childhood trauma. Several youngsters have complained that their parents, when they were kids during their childhood, spoilt everything for them, fought in front of them, beat each other, abused each other. Alcohol being one of the reasons, extramarital affair being one of the reasons, all in front of the child. And when the child becomes an adult, the child, gets flashback of all of this. Now, I would like you to give a message to all those children, the adults now, the youth who are suffering from childhood traumas. How do they forgive their parents and move ahead on in their life?
As I already told you, toxicity can be anywhere. Okay. And then I'm a Rotarian. I am a president of Rotary Bangalore, Nagarbhavi. Through that, I had gone on a road trip from Bangalore to Srinagar and Srinagar back to Bangalore. In one of the institution, I don't want to take the name, when I was addressing there, I told it was the children there, don't behave in a very wrong way with opposite sex, and then try to maintain, be in a composed state of mind, don't abuse somebody, don't misbehave with somebody. And then I spoke a lot of things to them. To my surprise, I'd gone out of the hall auditorium after addressing. There is a girl who comes to me and says, ma'am, you told all these things, you told us not to do that way, you told us to behave properly, all that's fine, agreed, but my own mother does this, so how do I take it? That's when I was surprised. I was like totally taken back. And then I was, when somebody is asking you, you have to tell some amount of solution. It is not that we are born with all sorts of answers. It is just that I tried telling her only one thing. I told the child, listen, you have seen a lot of problems, trauma in your own house. And then my sincere advice to you is whatever your mom has done, we don't know her situation. She has done it. So forgive her. But you don't do it. You need to work on the path of righteousness. Just because your mom did it does not give you the right to also do. So as a good child, we cannot blame, even if your mom has done a wrong thing, but she's still giving you good education, sending you to school, and all those things. So we can't blame them. We don't know what is the situation there. So, as you mentioned, the parents have fought in front of the children, they have abused the children, they have physically punished them, and all that stuff. I tell all the children, see, these type of children are called who are coming from broken families where the parents are separated, or they stay in a different place, or they're legally separated, or they're always fighting at home. It affects the child. It affects the child definitely. So to all those children, I want to tell, don't feel you're lonely. Try to connect with your teacher, try to connect with the teacher, your friends, and read more good books, not on the phone. That actual reading of books you should do. Go talk to people, that's very important. And then if you don't have anybody, I tell everybody, if you don't have anybody to talk to, you can give me a call and I'm ready to talk to you. And when somebody advises you, please take it. And don't compare yourself to the negative stuff which people are doing, saying, oh, if they can do it, I can also do it. That's not the right way. So that if they have done mistake, maybe of some issues, so we can't copy them, and we also cannot do the same mistakes. So we have to learn from those mistakes and do the right things. This is what I want to tell the children. If somebody is doing, somebody says somebody is taking drugs and they say, come on, take this, it's going to solve all your problems, please don't do it. See, once you drugs enter your body in any form, it's going to affect your liver, it's going to affect your kidney, it's going to affect every part of your body. And those friends of yours who so-called advised you to take that, they will definitely won't come to help you when your liver gets damaged, when the kidney gets damaged, and all those things. You have to face all these problems alone. So first of all, you have too many problems. By taking such things, you're increasing your problems. Instead of that, get into spirituality. When I'm telling spirituality, that means do good things, write, if possible, start writing something, read good books, get into the company of some Ramakrishna Ashrama, art of living, whatever, all those things, you can get into it. They teach you a lot of things. Do a lot of yoga, do a lot of exercises that drains away your negativity, and then be in the company of good friends. That's very important. And also understand your primary responsibility. As youth, your primary responsibility depends. If you're a student, it's on studies, or if you're working, it's on work. So do this correctly and also help people. If you cannot help anybody, no problem, but don't do negativity to them. Don't comment on them. Don't criticize somebody else. So there's something which we have to understand. And if you can talk to somebody, an orphan, or if a grandpa or some old person somewhere, if they are there around you, you can also come out of your solitude. You will also be helping somebody. So to all those people who feel you don't have anybody, if you feel helpless, so please connect with somebody who gives you happiness, who gives you positivity. And I'm also openly telling you, if you don't have anybody, I'm repeating this again, you can definitely connect with me on my social media handles. We will definitely talk. And how much ever possible, let's do good to the world. In this whole process, I want to address 5 lakh people on mental health. In that whole process, I'm working. I'm like constantly talking to patients, giving online programs, awareness programs everywhere and every day. Maybe you all can connect on that, and maybe we can connect on bigger way, bigger platforms. And maybe like you and somebody else who's affected, we can help the others also. So that way, it's going to be a chain reaction. So don't be think you're alone. We are there for you. Ma'am is also there for you. Anybody who's watching the video, I'm sure they'll also be ready to support. So it is a time we need to wake up, get up, and tell, yes, I have to do something to the world. That's when so many hands will come out. There are hands waiting to catch the other hands. There are hands which waiting to give. So maybe if we connect to both, half the world is going to be a happy place to live. Connectivity is very important.
Yes, dear. We thank you, ma'am, for your thoughts on that and the way you've given your suggestions as to how the youth should overcome the trauma that they have faced during their childhood, to forgive their parents and to move on and to seek help. And you even said that you could reach out to me.
Definitely.
Really
And
nice.
also one more thing, I would tell all the youth, Please do more and more of physical activities. Play sports. What happened now? They're only playing over the on the mobile phone and they're getting addicted to the mobile phone. Instead of that, physically go play football, hockey, whatever, badminton, whatever you like, play. So once you do those physical activity and play, a lot of negative energy gets drained out. And a lot of positivity which will come within you. Even you will develop a lot of immunity which will get developed. You will also feel healthy. So as individuals, instead of just sitting and looking at your phone and feeling I'm helpless, worthless, useless and all that stuff, just get up, as I already said, wash your face, take your rackets or badminton ball or anything, go out and play, make friends there. Once you start going and playing with somebody, you'll make friends, your ideologies might match, you'll make new friends, your loneliness will go away. So you'll come up with new things, you'll discuss things. So there's somebody will say, okay, you know what, there's one more friend who has no one, let us get that person to play. You'll understand the concept of winning and losing. Now the youth have not even understood the concept of winning and losing. Everybody wants to win. It is not always a win-win situation everywhere. So when you start playing, you can equally understand winning, losing, concept, helping, giving, sharing. All these things will be easily understood. When these are easily understood, that's when most of the youth, when they get into depression, they only feel, oh, I've lost everything in life. So that means that is the end of life. It is not like that. We remember our times when we used to go out and play. If at all we lose, we used to wait for our next turn to win and enjoy the games. So maybe if you start doing all those things, start going back to your roots and living a simple life, you will all really be very, very happy. Connect with your grandparents, which is very, very important too, because they're a treasure of energy, they're a treasure of information, they're a treasure of emotion, they're also a treasure of love. You will get a lot of things with them. They'll also be happy, you'll also be happy.
Yes. Now, ma'am, a very important question. I'd like to pose it to you now with regard to bullying in schools and colleges. Now, this bullying has really taken a toll on the mental health of the youngsters. And now, in the school level, there are the teachers who come forward and they try to protect the child and stand for the child. But when it comes to college level, they tend to be a bit neglected by the management and the faculty members. And many of the youngsters have been body shamed and they have been hurt terribly with this term called as bullying. Now, how do
And
we focus our energies to bring happiness in the lives of these little students who have been bullied by their classmates or college mates?
when it comes to bullying, and if you want to correct it, I would suggest it has to be corrected at the grassroots level itself in the school. We have to tell the children whatever it is, express it, tell it out to the parents, to the teachers, to the friends, instead of just keeping it to yourself. There are times when the child has gone and spoken, and the parent must have said, maybe you did something, that is the reason they have behaved like that. That could be also possibility. So I would like to tell all the parents also, when your child comes and tells you whatever it is, what happened in school, who somebody bullied or somebody commented on them, body shaming. Now they have this new words of body shaming or using the very unusable words and all that stuff. Please, when your child tells, please listen to them. It is not that always your child is doing a mistake. So, and also support them and also tell the child, we are with you. Anything happens, come back home and tell. So that has to be told very clearly. And then, and also the children also, please talk to your parents. There are so many children who say, I'll keep to myself. What if my parents will yell at me and all that stuff? What if I go complain about the friend of mine? What if they again may take revenge on me and all that stuff? So don't live in this fear. Communicate, tell it to your teacher, tell it to the management, and also develop positivity. If somebody is abusing you, you might as well, I'm not telling you have to abuse them back. No, go tell it to the right people so they will be taken care of. So they will be taught what to do. And before telling the others, let's understand, I should also learn respecting the other person. I should also not bully the other person. I should also use the right words in communicating. And if somebody body shames me, it is not that I should also body shame them back. It's like, let's forget it, leave it. And body shaming, let's understand, each body is unique, each individual is unique, each God's creation is different. When somebody is telling, look at you, you're fat, or your color is like that, your hair is like that, I would like to tell all the girls, especially, and for bullying in boys is a little lesser compared to girls, especially to the girls. When somebody says, oh, look at you, you're not so beautiful, please understand, God's creation, everybody is beautiful. So you should not get into that mode of oh, I'm like that. No, let anybody tell anything. You be happy. You need to spread positivity. As I've already mentioned, somebody is talking negative, leave that place and go join, be with people who are talking positively. And if somebody says keep quiet, you should not tell this to anybody. It is not like that. Go and tell it to your concerned authorities. First in the order, immediately in the school, to the teacher, to the management. Go tell your parent, they'll come and tell to the management. So all these things have started at the grassroots levels. And also we need to tell the people better learn how to behave. Because today you might have bullied somebody. There will be times when somebody else will come back to bully you. You'll not be able to deal with it. So it is better you develop the good positive things so that you will develop all good things in your life and you have it as a form of karma stored in your life. So before dealing with bullying, first I want to tell people you should not bully somebody else. And then next coming to the victimized person, don't say victimized, don't say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm helpless, I can't do anything. Instead of that, tell it to the right authorities and fight back. Fight back is not that verbal fight. Grow stronger. When you grow stronger, somebody says, come on, and tell them very clearly, assertively, if this is going to continue, I will not be keeping quiet. So once they tell it a little louder, most of the bullying, physical abuses will be stopped. But what happens? We say, no, it's okay, leave it, don't tell it. Or if you go complain, it might increase. They will come, somebody will also be joined by somebody and they'll trouble you more and all that stuff. First time, second time can be forgiven or ignored. But if it's happened to you continuously, it is not their mistake. It is your mistake of taking it. So we need to correct it by all these things happen by constant empowerment of ourselves. We need to grow strong. Then automatically things can get better. Instead of correcting at the root level, it's better to treat the root level. Things will get better.
Yes, dear. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful answer. Thank you, dear. Now, ma'am, there are several marriages that don't work well. There are many cracks in the marriage, but still the mother and father stay together only because they have children. If the children weren't there long back, they would have separated long ago. But just because the children are there, they stay in unhappy marriages, and that causes a lot of stress. It could be either dowry harassment, it could be alcoholism, it could be just any reason that's not okay to be together, or it could be cheating on each other. But still, they are there with the family. They don't want to let go because they have children. And that becomes very painful for all the members of the family. And the entire family situation becomes very toxic. So what do you have to say to these people? Should they separate or stay on? Because see, the damage is being done to the children. In the end, it's the child
In
who suffers.
India or in the world, what we have seen, 60 to 65 percentage of the marriages, the husband wife say this, I'm only staying for my kid.
My
I'm least
kids.
bothered about my spouse. It can be the husband and the wife. Both
Very,
of them have said the same thing. I am surviving, I'm sustaining, I'm forgiving all this only for my child. That's what they have said. So it depends. We cannot say, we cannot ask everybody separate because there is.
yes, dear.
Hello, madam. So there is some reason for them to stay together. The reason is the child. So maybe in the whole process, they might get better. The communications might get better. So we cannot just say just because you have issues, you have to separate. No. The thing is, please try to improve on your communication skills. May try to improve on your relationships. And also, whatever be your relationship, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, don't fight in front of the child. This rule number one, we all, I'm not saying they all, everybody, as I said, good, bad, or ugly, even it is whatever it is, don't fight in front of the child. That's very important. And then if you have any arguments, you might as well keep it to your private way. You can discuss it and then come out and be in front of the child instead of be misbehaving. And also, if the husband or the wife is angry on each other, your child is not a medium to take revenge of. There are so many say, if he doesn't listen to me, I'll tell my kid, I will, then she or he, they'll go, sorry, they'll go and talk. So this is not the right way. There's so many women who say, I will tell my child and then I will take care of my spouse this way by telling the child around. Your child is not a medium to be used. They're not a weapon to be used against your spouse. That's something which we have to understand. See, if you both have issues in your marital relationship, it's for you to deal with it, and it has to be dealt in a very sensible way. Don't use your child as a weapon for dealing. And also, as I said, don't fight in front of them. And the most important point is, if you are staying together, let there be amicability in both of the people. It is not that there are two different horrible people or something like that. Maybe you could not, both of you, deal with it. So instead of always having that grudges or toxicity against each other and always exchanging negative thoughts, it is might as well come in terms with it and live in an amicable way. In any ways, you're going to stay with each other. So if at all you're going to be facing each other, it is good to be no throwing out poisonous words. Instead of that, just be in a very neutral way and part. And then anyways, they'll not be staying together. They leave work at different time zones and come back at different time zones. And the little time you meet, maybe it is better that you talk in a very simple, neat ways and in a friendly manner, instead of just starting off fights as soon as you see each other. I mean, these three things can be actually fought.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Now, ma'am, there are a few children who have been through abuse. What kind of abuse, you may ask me, dear friends? Sexual abuse in the family by either of the parents or the relatives. So how do we identify that a child is being sexually abused at home? What are the signs and symptoms that we should look out for and try to protect the child as early as possible than to overlook it? Because this is the traditional Indian setup where we say, just sweep the dirt under the carpet. Just, keep quiet. Don't tell anybody about it. So I'd like you to share a message for everyone with regard to this question.
When it comes to abuse, it's happening everywhere. Whatever the statistics says, it says almost 80% of the people have faced abuse some part of time in their lives. So yeah, madam, you asked a very sensitive question, which as I've already mentioned, almost 65 to 75% population have seen harassment through their entire life. Anytime in their life, they've seen harassment, whether it can have happened at home. There are people who have complained their own parents have harassed them sexually only, and their siblings could have harassed them, their relatives have harassed them, or their friends have harassed them. They have seen harassment in workplaces, in their colleges, and wherever, in not on the roads, everywhere. So harassment, not here, women facing harassment is the numbers are little higher, but doesn't mean that men have not seen harassment. They have also seen harassment. So women and men who have seen harassment, generally men don't even tell, because they'll feel it's below their dignity if they go tell it. Somebody will tease them and things like that. And even women also doesn't tell so much. They don't tell open out so much, because they'll think again they'll be branded or judged. They'll say, "Oh, you are not correct" or something like that. So when it comes to harassment, in whatever form it is, wherever it is, inside your house, outside your house, wherever it is. See, when you're people of your own house, that means your own family is harassed. It's such a helpless thing. It's really a very sad state, because they don't even know whom to go and seek help. When it's outside the house, at least they can come back to the family members and seek help. So for these type of people who are harassed at home, there are helplines, there are organizations, there are NGOs working to help such people. We do counsel them, we do support them. I'm sure they'll also support them. That can be done. Most of it, first and foremost, when such things happen to you, ask for help. That's very important. Open up, come on, open up and ask for help. It can be your own family members or whatever. And then there are so many acts which have been which is there by the government for children below 18 years. There's POSCO Act, and there is later above that, there is POSH Act. Under this act, they definitely, if it's proved guilty, they'll be punished and all those things. So you need not be worried. There is a POSH committee in every school, company, in every engineering college, wherever. If it's above plus 18, the POSH acts are, POSH committees are there everywhere. In every school, there is a POSCO committee where some sexual harassment has happened on the child. The committee, they go complain, they will sit and talk and counsel and finally try to correct the thing. And there are lawyers who fight for so many posh cases. So we have to find out who's doing all that work. Open up, go talk to people. And when it comes to harassment, there are so many people who have actually told me, I have seen that they have been harassed for years together. Years together. It's really a sad state when they're explaining, when they're telling. I feel so bad for them. So what I tell everybody, boy, girl, man, woman, young, old, anyone, it's harassment inside your house, outside your house, whatever. Once or twice, maybe by mistake, somebody must have touched you or something like that. It can be ignored. But if it's happening regularly, so don't ignore it. It's something you need to give attention to. The most best weapon for anybody God's given you is your voice. Use your voice. Most of them feel, "Ayo, I felt helpless, ma'am. I could not even speak." It happens, I understand. We as individuals, we need to grow strong to deal with such things. And parents also, tell your child, whatever it is, anything happens to you, we'll stand by you. It's very important. Friends also, always be there for each other. Even in workplaces, let the conditions be very comfortable to everybody. So nobody feels insecure there, nobody feels not safe there. And also there are a lot of softwares which are there to help them. There are a lot of apps which are there to help the women's safety. They'll be tracked while traveling and all those things. Please utilize those things. And also one thing, that there are people who say, oh, this is a safe society. Don't take risk. Very important. If the society is safe, it doesn't mean you're going to go alone in the middle of the night somewhere and say, oh, I can go anywhere and all. Please use your thought process to deal with such situations. Always try to be in groups when you feel it's very unsafe. And at home, tell it, explain it. And also, when somebody comes and complains this to you or tells it to you, instead of commenting about them or talking about them or criticizing about them or gossiping about them, try to help them, at least listen to them, and don't condemn them and all that stuff. Don't give them negativity. Say, don't worry, we are there. And in workplaces, especially, there are so many people who would have got harassed by the same person, but they don't open their mouth because of the person is very powerful. There are many people who are in different stages where they're very, very powerful and women feel I can't do anything. So it's basically open up, or you want to correct it, tell it right then and there. It's very important. Put your foot down. It's called putting your foot down right there and telling them whatever it is, all this nonsense, I cannot tolerate it. That's very important. And also to the men or the women who harass uh, the opposite sex. Please understand, when you're doing it, and then when at a point of time which is going to be proved later, that is the time you'll not be able to face the society. I had a patient where this man was booked under sexual harassment. After so many years, so many women suddenly came and complained against him. Till then, for 15 to 20 years, he had harassed his women in office. So when this case came out, when the case was on him, his own daughter said, I don't want to be with a father like you. And then she left him and left the house and went and stayed separately with the grandparents. That's when he comes and says, Doctor, now I've realized my mistake after 20 years of harassing women. So when you see the major issues, when you have to face, you'll not be able to face it. So don't have the sadistic happiness of inculcating pain in somebody's life and trying to be happy. So if you feel you have such things, go get treated. And if you feel you have some negative thoughts coming in, negative feelings coming inside, go talk to the right people, and no, they'll take counseling and take treatment to come out of such problems. And if you feel you're very anxious, you're not able to speak it out, there is also treatment for that. Go talk to the concerned people, take help from all of them. So problems like this can be solved when work together as a society. I, as an individual, cannot make any change. So we have, as a society, working together, a lot of changes can be got. So maybe let's start the first change of awareness, giving awareness to the people. In those ways, you're doing wonderful things. Get more lawyers, posh trainers, posh people, and a lot of people to speak, so that a lot of people will get information out of it. So that's when slowly, slightly, changes can occur in the society. So let's all work towards getting the change. The first change is, let me try speaking out. If I'm going to give awareness, let me talk about it. If I'm in pain, let me talk about it. So maybe somebody who can need the information, they'll take, or somebody who can help me can help. So let's open up. It's very important.
Yes, dear. And the best part, what I like you share that you shared, ma'am, is your voice is your weapon. Voice out whatever you're,
Absolutely.
and don't be silent sufferers. Your voice is your weapon, nothing else. Speak up. Now, ma'am, one last question, ma'am, for the session. The transgenders, they undergo a lot of mental trauma because within the family, within their relatives, at the neighborhood, and once they are out in the public space, they are really harassed to the core. Now, how can we help them in this way? It's really very pathetic when you hear them share their story as to how much of mental stress they've been undergoing because of the changes that they have in their own body.
The basic problem they say is when they're identified as a different category. See, when they cannot even go to male toilets, they cannot even use female toilets.
Very
The
true.
problems basically starts there itself. Maybe as a society, we have to address all the basic issues. When they go for maybe filing a case or taking some help, everywhere they asked, "Are you male or female?" So there is no third category. When they don't even belong to any category, the computer doesn't even take the whatever process. So maybe we have, again, as a society as a whole, we need to start working on them. And when there are many people who have abused them, when they see them, and then instead of stop doing all such things to them, let's try to empower them. Maybe they'll also need education. We need to do education. There is huge funding which is given to people who are in distress. So if we have to consider these are also people in distress. So as a society, we need to give some amount of help to major, in fact, not some amount of major amount help to them in terms of finance, in terms of education, in terms of support system. All these things we need to do, and then look at them as human beings too. Where there are so many people who are told, oh, they're not good, they are that, they are this. Instead of gossiping like this about them, maybe if you just even start telling good things about them, the next generations to come will start accepting them in a much better way. So lot of things have to change, the way we look at them, the way we perceive them, the way we treat them. So start inculcating them into our lives. Maybe the first thing is change our thought process towards them. So that's when a lot of good things can happen.
Yes, dear. Ma'am, this is the last question, ma'am. Sorry for extending one more question.
No problem.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. I would like you to give a message to all the school managements and the teachers out there, the faculty members, to be aware and observe students as to how they are behaving, not only focusing on marks, but also observing how the child behaves. Is the child extremely silent, or why is the child underperforming? To get to know the root cause of it, and then call the child a duller or a slow learner. Just do not blame them or tag them with any such thing without knowing the real reason why a child is not able to perform at school, or why the child is not opening up in school or participating in activities. So if the parents are unable to take care of their children, at least the second mother at school
The teacher.
should be able to focus and see that. So something like that, if you could share your thoughts on that, I would really be happy.
First and foremost, your child is a candle to be lit. It's not a vase to be just filled completely. No, don't do that. Allow them to grow comfortably. And your child is not a marks vending machine. We have to accept that also. Every child is unique, and every talent in every child is unique. Some might be very good in artistic skills, some might may be very good in oratory skills, some might be very good in mathematics, somebody must be very good in culinary skills. So everybody is unique and different. And then if a person is very good in art, we ask them to sit and study science or maths, they'll not be able to do it. So understand what they like. If a child has a singer within him and you make him do cooking, which is not going to be possible, we have to understand your child very well. First understanding comes with the parents, and then obviously the teacher. So when we talk about understanding the child, it's a process of by the it's to be done by the mother, parent, when both mother and father, parents, in school, siblings of the child or grandparents of the child, and the school management also. As a society, we all of us are responsible. And then when you talk about
Yes, dear.
every single change which happens in the child has to be observed. Just don't leave your child, oh my, I'm very progressive thought process. I've just left my child to do whatever you want. Give them freedom. I don't deny that. But you need to understand what freedom and what stupidity is all about. In the name of freedom, you just can't afford to do all sorts of things. So give them freedom, freedom to grow, freedom to express, freedom to talk and everything. But also educate them on how to behave, where they have to be, how all these things to be educated. And at all you see sudden changes in your child's behavior. Suddenly they're talking too much, or suddenly they're not talking at all. Their self-care must have reduced, or overly they're trying to dress up overly. Constantly they are on the phone, they're addicted constantly. Their food habits must have come down, their sleep habits must have come down, or also the way they're mingling with the family is totally changed. Before they were very accommodative, talking and all that stuff. Now they don't even talk to anybody, they're all by themselves. All these changes, minute changes, have to be observed, especially the teenagers. And also their scores must be drastically reduced. If you don't, if I say reduced, somebody who says previous term my child took 92, now it's 90. No, it's not like that. There is drastic reduction in their marks or the grades. That's when you need to start looking at it. And the child comes and tells you their issue, don't snub them. They say, oh, come on, shut up. It's not like that. You are only the mistake, or maybe you are like that. Instead of that, when the child is trying to seek help, give them. When they're trying to say something, every time there are so many children who come and say, I went and stood in front of my mother, but I could not say, or something like that. You see such behaviors happening in the child, give them time. Or if they're talking something, things which don't even relate to unwanted stuff and all that stuff, again start giving them time. And then when the child is misbehaving, nowadays extra, more than before, give attention to the child. They're started bullying, or if they're getting bullied, if they get feeling helpless, all these things, if they're crying without reasons, or sometimes some children will be laughing without reasons. Some they'll find they cannot sit in a place, they're just moving around too much, their activities have increased, all such things, attention to be given. And just by seeing that and you want to give attention does not mean you're going to pinpoint to the child 24 bar 7 saying, you are not right, you are not right. Help them to go in such a conducive environment so that they'll grow positively. All these things have to be done. It's a job as a parent, as a teacher, as anybody in school, as well as a management. Management has to understand you cannot put pressure on the teacher and say you have to make sure 100% results in the class and all that stuff. Each child is different. So getting more students into the school or just increasing the percentage, that's all not important. Helping the child develop into a better human being is what the whole management teachers have to look into.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, so much for sharing all of that. Thank you very much. The big takeaway here is, friends, do not suffer in silence. Stand up against abuse and voice your, whatever you're going through. Voice it out. Speak out and let your voice be the weapon. That's the message that we get today. Ma'am,
So
thank you so much, dear.
thank you. And one more point, when you said speak out, please tell your feelings of your helplessness. And also, speak out does not mean you're going to stand and speak about anybody and everybody in a negative way. So, even that is also there. Speak out the right thing and the right way. Don't comment on anybody. Don't gossip about anybody. If you're feeling helpless, try to tell it out. And many people find it difficulty in telling. Many, they are good in writing. Maybe you can tell by writing to your family too, but don't, as you mentioned, suffering is not needed. When your life can be in a form of living, live a life instead of suffering in a life. That's your choice.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's your choice as well. Speak against abuse and choose to live happily. Dear ma'am, thank you so much for being on this platform and sharing your expertise. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We respect you for who you are and the way you've conducted yourself with a lot of dignity and grace. You shared a lot. Tumba thanks. Thank you very much.
ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. Thank you. Thank you. Wishing all of them watching this video and anybody and everybody a smiling life, whatever it is, keep the positivity going, keep smiling, because whatever has happened today, 10 years down the line, you'll be sitting and smiling at it. And anyway, smiling at it then. So you can start smiling at it now also instead of just feeling helpless. So again, it's a choice. Keep smiling and also tell the world in a lighter way. I want to tell the world you brush your teeth regularly. That's all. Keep smiling for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. My dear friends, with this we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Thank you for being with us on this beautiful journey of empowering people. Everybody, irrespective of age, caste, creed, and color, we'd love you to be inspired and to take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And don't forget to even take care of the strangers who come across your path. And of course, if you like what the International Fab Talks is doing, stay connected with us, bond with us, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And above all, if you'd love to connect with ma'am, if you'd like to seek any professional help from her, please do get connected with her. We'll share her details in the description. Till then, stay safe. We sign off now from the International Fab Talks. God bless. Thank you, ma'am.